Welcome to episode 15 of the Two Average Guys Sport Podcast. Just a couple average dudes talking about sports. No former playing experience, no former management experience. Literally about as average as you can get, two average dudes. My name is Sam. This is my co-host here, Espen. Espen, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty swell. It's scorching heat here in Kansas in October. Love it when it's 90 degrees in the middle of October. So got that
actually
across. Yes, it is.
I think it was like 65 today.
A little hot for my liking in October. It should be 65.
You know damn well in like 1 month from now it's going to be like 30. It's going to be like 35.
Or next week. I think it actually.
Or tomorrow, honestly.
It is the Midwest, so climate change isn't real, but
Our politicians don't want to. They don't want to speak about that. We're not political people.
That was a joke. False.
Well, no, Denver did drop from like 90 to 30 in a day, so it could happen. But yeah, we have a great episode for you guys today. Some NBA news, NBA finals, obviously, MLB. The playoffs are not really wrapping up, but we kind of know who the real teams are in a sense. We're up to my Yankees so far. NFL, some more crazy news for you. Our games of the week. And then we got college football action. We got some college football Saturday. And yeah, we have a few, we have our other sport news as always. And then we wrap it up today on Thursdays with our spreads of the week. Should we go ahead and get into it?
Let's start.
Awesome. So NBA news, obviously, Tuesday night, I guess that was a couple nights ago now. Game 4 of the NBA finals, right? Lakers go 3-1. If I remember correctly, it was a pretty close game for most of it, and then the Lakers pulled away in the end. Is this it?
This is it. I've been saying 5 games. I have so far predicted every single thing that would happen. I said the Lakers would go up 2-0, Miami wins game 3, and the Lakers take 4 and 5. Also, rip to me having the Lakers cover and then Tyler Hero crushing my heart. That was rough, but yeah, the Heat, it was the most exciting game. These finals just for some reason have not been that exciting for me. Is it the same
I think when we got Goran Dragic injured, I think that kind of like took away a little bit just because the matchup is a little bit like, all right, now they don't have this starting point guard. Well, the Lakers have this, and so I think it's just a little bit less exciting.
And Miami, the Heat are a fun franchise. Like with past finals, I've always found myself cheering for them just because in 2006 they had D-Wade and Shaq. They were such a fun duo. And then when they went 3 straight years with LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, that was a fun. This year's just I can't get behind Jimmy Butler. I can't really get behind Tyler Hero. I mean, yeah, they're great. I don't know. There's just something about this Miami Heat team that's just whatever.
He won 2 championships with LeBron.
Yeah, I know. I said they went to 3 straight finals. They
yeah. I understand why people don't like Jimmy Butler. There's definitely obviously Jimmy Butler haters. There was rumored that you couldn't start a franchise around him. I think the Miami Heat have done an exceptional job, and I think Jimmy Butler is just one of those guys that you just want to be around if you want to compete every day. He's someone that wants to compete, and I think that's the reason the Lakers aren't necessarily. I don't want to say they're not going to win. I just think it puts it in a little bit more question. It's kind of like the David versus Goliath, and Goliath just has the heart. Or David, I don't actually remember the story, but that's just me being an idiot.
Great reference.
Great Jew reference as a Jew. I should know that. But either way, you get what I'm saying. It's the powerhouse versus this
the underdog.
Small person that has all the heart. And at this point, I don't know if the Heat are going to win and come back. Obviously, it's a little, hard to predict, but I don't think the Lakers are necessarily going to win easily if they do win. I don't think it's going to be, a 20-point win. That being said, is there a chance we see, a 3-1 comeback like we saw a couple of years ago?
No, try it tomorrow night on Friday. The entire bubble is going to burst.
And then LeBron's going to go home to Bronny, who is, chilling with his little blunt and rip to Bronny. We're going to hear about a murder in California.
Yeah, I'm kind of ready for the NBA season to wrap up. The bubble has been fun. The playoffs were fun, but I think I'm just kind of ready for the off season to start. I'm excited for the NBA draft that's coming up this fall, so that'll be something new. So
yeah, and to go along with that, just before we kind of wrap up the NBA, is I think we all stopped all stopped to watch a little bit, or stopped watching a little bit when the Clippers went out. We were really expecting the Clippers-Lakers Western Conference Finals, and when we didn't get that, it's kind of like, oh, well, we kind of know who's going to win.
You could even argue the Bucks and the Raptors going out too. Like those were two pretty big like powerhouse teams. So yeah, but you know.
Yeah, and so if the Lakers do win tomorrow night, kind of cool, a little bit overboard, but I could see where you opinionate both ways. They're going to be wearing the Black Mamba jerseys. Obviously, Black Mamba is in honor of Kobe. I think that'd be pretty cool to win the finals in those jerseys. I have
to agree. It'd be such a cool thing. Like, you know, the first like big thing since like his passing. You know, his like representing his legacy like that. I think it would be incredibly cool if they win tomorrow while wearing them. So.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, we'll see what happens tomorrow. If the Lakers don't win, that's going to be Game 6. If the Lakers do win, obviously a very cool scene. Transitioning from one playoff to the next, MLB. We obviously had an exciting wild card matchup. A lot of excitement was happening, and now we're kind of here, and we look at the teams that are leading. Not as fun. Like, no offense, but I don't think Tampa has a big following outside of either Florida or Tampa in general. The Dodgers are obviously, a team that just seems to make it every year and seems to choke. I think the Braves are the most fun team to watch out of the 4 that could potentially go on, obviously. I guess a potential 8, but most likely. And then who am I missing? I'm missing another AL series.
A's and Astros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want the Astros to win, I'm sorry, but you suck. Like,
please do not watch our show if you want the Astros to win. We do not want any Astros fans on the show.
Yeah, and talking about the Astros, like, there was, I think 2 days ago they were doing interviews, and like the Astros feel like, that this is a revenge tour, quote unquote. How the hell is it a revenge tour when you brought this onto yourselves? Like, this is like, it's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Give me a break. I mean, it's ridiculous, like, what they're talking about. Like, oh, the whole world's against us. No shit, the world's against you. Like, everybody hates you. I mean, you're the most hated sports team in the United States right now. You cheated. Yeah. You got away with it. No punishments except your manager is gone.
And you missed a first-round pick. Like, boo-hoo.
The first-round pick in baseball is as meaningful as whatever.
It's still big, but it's not like like
compared to other drafts. Huge. Compared to like an NFL or NBA draft, it's not really that big. So
and kind of going off of that, like, you cheated. You say you you were punished appropriately, and you just weren't. Like, you couldn't tell me that a small little fine, okay, small, compared to obviously billionaires, releasing your manager and then getting taken away a first round pick is that's enough. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
I was gonna say, I really hope Oakland can come back. They're playing Game 4 as we speak right now, but it doesn't look too promising for the A's. I thought the A's would look a lot better, but they.
This seems to happen the past couple of years that the A's just make it to the playoffs or get really close to making it to the playoffs, and then they definitely struggle. Right now, Astros are 4-6, or 6-4 if you want to say that, bottom of the 5th, and then it looks like the Braves are going to clinch. They're up 7-0.
Yeah, are we surprised?
But speaking about the Braves, well, 2 things. A, shout out to the Marlins for beating the Cubs. Obviously, a tremendous season if you're a Marlins fan. I think so because, you obviously had all the COVID problems, and there was a point where the manager couldn't remember names, Don Mattingly. He's like, oh, I don't know who you are. Just play left field. So you made it this far. Braves, I think they are going to become the most fun team to watch if the Yankees are eliminated just because of Ronald Acuna Jr., Danzy Swasberry or Swanza, I don't know how you say it, but I think that's an exciting team to watch.
I can get behind Atlanta to win the World Series this year. I could definitely see myself picking them to win, but the Dodgers look so freaking good. Maybe this is the year they put it together, and this might be their last window of opportunity, you would argue. Clayton Kershaw, he's kind of getting up there in age, and he's not the pitcher he used to be.
You can tell he's kind of starting to decline.
They have Walker Buehler, who's an absolute stud ace. So they got that going for them. But I know what you mean about the playoffs. I was really excited, and then all the teams I wanted to go far got knocked out in the wild card round. So hopefully we'll just get some good games out of it. So that's all I can really hope for.
Yeah, I just want to see a classic. I could honestly go for just a nice solid pitching matchup. We're talking 1-0, like
I
5
hate
hit
those.
total. I love those games. I love seeing pitchers dominate.
I perfect game for me is like a 5-4 game. There's some offense, there's some good pitching. Just give me that. I hate these like 12-10. I mean, they're kind of fun when they're just blasting home runs and stuff, but also, I was going to ask, you confident the Yankees can win Game 4 tonight?
If there's any team that I think can come back from, a 2-1 deficit, or now, 2-1 deficit, I would say it's the Yankees. And I say that because of their offense. Their pitching hasn't looked so good, and that's fine. Their offense hasn't looked so good either, but Giancarlo Stanton's on fire. Aaron Hicks is batting, relatively well. If you get Judge going, if you get Glaber going, if you get, even Frazier going, who had a home run, I think, a couple nights ago now, I think the Yankees are the one team that could come back from a 2-1.
I still think they can come back and win the series. I'm still picking the Yankees to win the series, as crazy as that is. But I think they got the team. I think they got the offense, like you said, and they can blast a dong any time, any part of the game. So
blasting dongs is the way to go in baseball, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's just yeah.
Obviously, all the games are happening today. There's been no off days of baseball, which has been fabulous. I will say that. Hopefully, the Yankees can win tonight for my sake. If not, I might go ahead and just shave my head off. Not actually, but
No, you won't.
We'll see what happens. Going from baseball to college football, I would say we got a pretty good set of games this weekend.
Yeah, probably the best weekend we've had so far of like ranked matchups. We got some rivalry games, and I'm like a huge game Saturday night where college game days. But yeah, we can break down some of these if you want.
Yeah, so the first one at 12 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, number 4 Florida against number 21 Texas A&M at Texas A&M. I think this is gonna be a closer matchup than we expect.
I agree. Who did Florida beat last week? I'm trying to remember. I think they beat who they played? South Carolina, maybe? I forget. But
yes.
Florida. They look like the old Florida almost. They have such a powerful offense. Texas A&M got. I can't remember who anybody played, but whatever. Short story. Florida's
Texas A&M played Bama last week, and Bama kind of killed them.
That's right. They got killed. I don't like Jimbo Fisher, so Jimbo Fisher, you suck. I go Florida. You
go Florida. I'm gonna have to agree with you. However, I think this is gonna be one of those games where it's within a touchdown.
Yeah,
I know it's obviously. I don't know if Texas A&M has fans this season. I would assume so, just because it's Texas. But I think Texas A&M is not gonna pick up this one, and then they'll drop out of the rankings. Next game, we got a ACC matchup at 12 p.m. as well. Virginia Tech, who has gone through, honestly, 2 crazy weekends of COVID cases. They've been missing their defensive coordinator. They've been missing their, starting players. They're at North Carolina. North Carolina coming off a win against Boston College. I think North Carolina is just – I think that they're better. I think that they're better coach. I think they have better players. Damani Brown at wide receiver, I think North Carolina.
I didn't know about any of that stuff for Virginia Tech. I didn't know they had been.
Yeah, so they had 23 players missing. And then they had, I think, 4 or 5 coaches missing. It was a shit show.
Wow.
Yeah, and they beat NC State without half it. I don't know if the starting quarterback played in that game, and they beat the crap out of NC State.
Give me the upset. I'm going Virginia Tech.
After all Virginia Tech?
I was planning on picking Virginia Tech. I thought I think they could upset them, but North Carolina, I mean, are they legit this year? I couldn't tell you.
I think that they'll lose one game. I don't see it, being this game.
Yeah. I mean, they got to go through Clemson, Miami, Notre Dame, 3 good ACC teams. So
Clemson, Miami, I could see them losing to. Notre Dame, no one really knows what's happening with their season. Kind of question there. Next one, obviously, I'm a Texas fan. Red River rivalry in the Cotton Bowl, neutral ground, Texas and Oklahoma in Dallas. Go Horns.
Put your mortgage on Oklahoma this week. Bet your entire 401k savings. Bet your house. Bet your yachts. Bet your everything.
Bet your child.
Oh, that's not happening. Good God, Sam.
Well,
we do
you
not.
could
We do
probably get a
not.
lot of money.
We don't accept the chat. We're not for that. Oklahoma, there's no possible way on this human planet Earth that Oklahoma loses this football game and goes 1-3. I just do not see it happening. Call me an Oklahoma
They lost
stan,
at Kansas State and they lost at Iowa State.
but Texas ain't great. Texas lost to TCU.
Iowa State lost to University of Louisiana Lafayette.
They may be legit though, so let's give them.
Come on, man! You're telling me that the Horns are going to be down?
Yeah, Texas. I think Texas is overrated as always, and Oklahoma's overrated as always too.
You're crazy.
They should just rename this from the Red River Rivalry to the Overrated Bowl because that's what both these schools are.
Come on, man! You're crazy.
I'm going Oklahoma.
I got Texas, man. Straight up, I got Texas.
See.
I can't imagine Texas is going to lose this game. Next one, a little SEC matchup. I think the overrated number 14 Tennessee Vols at Georgia, number 3. I think this is not going to even be close. I think Georgia rolled over Auburn. I think Georgia's just going to roll over the Vols.
That is something we can 100% agree on. Tennessee's very overrated this year. I don't think they've played anybody. Georgia might win by 40 points.
I wouldn't say 40. I would say at least 3 touchdowns.
Okay, maybe not 40, but 35.
And then your college football Saturday game show is going to be at Miami versus Clemson. Number 7 Miami, going up to South Carolina, going up to Clemson. Number 1, obviously, Trevor Lawrence, most likely number 1 pick. I don't think this is close. I think Clemson is just going to roll them over.
I really want this to be a close game, and I like this Miami Hurricanes team. I just don't see them beating Clemson. You know, could you argue that they are at the same level like Alabama is now for college football? Like they are just a complete powerhouse.
Right now, I would say yes. And they obviously their backup quarterback, who's obviously going to turn into the starter when Trevor Lawrence leaves, is it's DJ. Like I don't know how to pronounce the last name. It's like DJ Umanelli coming out of California. He was like number 1 pick, our number 1 ranked high school quarterback. I think Clemson's going to be set for another 3 years or 2 years after this. And eventually it's just going to keep going.
Yeah, they turn out some receivers too. I mean, you could DeAndre Hopkins, Sammy Watkins, Hunter Renfrow. I mean, who else am I missing?
Yeah.
I mean,
very solid list. They have a lot of good guys.
And even quarterbacks too, like Deshaun Watson. They had Taj Boyd, who I mean, he had a little stint in the NFL. EJ Manuel go to, I think he went to Florida State.
EJ Manuel went to Florida State, and then he went to Buffalo, and I really rooted for him, except he sucked, and he was just terrible.
He was not great.
Yeah, so those are our ranked matchups of the week. Obviously, I would say one of the better weeks in college football. Our underrated games. First one I got is NC State at UVA. NC State coming off the upset at Pitt, who was ranked number 25. UVA's looked a little bit better this year. Obviously, they're about as average as can be. I got NC State at UVA.
I'm going to go UVA. Don't know anything about either team, but go UVA.
Okay. Texas Tech, the former Pat Mahomes school, at number 24, Iowa State. Iowa State's one of those teams losing the University of Louisiana Lafayette, beating Oklahoma. Texas Tech playing against, Texas close. A couple weeks ago, obviously, Texas had that miracle comeback. I got Iowa State at home.
I'm going to go Iowa State as well. They have just been up and down the top 25. They just don't know if they want to be in or out. All season so far, it's been the case for them. But I think Iowa State, they're a good football team. They just didn't look good in their first week. I think they could actually surprisingly somehow compete in the Big 12 this year. I think they very good, much well could.
I mean, as long as they play Kansas, Kansas is one of those teams you play to rack up points.
Oh, Les Miles tested positive for COVID, so there's a little breaking news.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that. That's not good.
They travel to West Virginia this week, so it won't make any difference.
Yeah, that's not a good one. Last game, underrated game, Pittsburgh, who was ranked number 25, at Boston College. Boston College obviously lost North Carolina last week. Looked pretty good, though. I got Boston College, Mr. Doug Flutie's former school.
Give me Boston College winning 9-6.
A classic 9-6 game. What a great game. 9-6
No
Great
touchdowns
score.
or no touchdowns are scored. That just sounds like a defensive ACC game. I love it.
Well, we're going to see what happens on our college football Saturday. Transitioning from Saturday to Sunday, NFL.
Got some news.
I don't want to say crazy week. I just want to say interesting.
Crazy. It could be as crazy as last week was.
You think so?
Sunday. It was. Yeah. It's been pretty wild so far.
I'm going to let you steal the, Bill O'Brien story. Obviously not good.
I can't wait to go off on this guy. I am so happy he is out of Houston. Worst head coach in the NFL, the worst general manager. He is wasting Deshaun Watson's career away. That Houston team is good. The way he coaches is so conservative and just so awful. He should have won in Kansas City last year. And that's me as a diehard Chiefs fan saying we did not deserve to win that game in the beginning. But then our Andy Reid outcoached him incredibly in the next 3 quarters. And I mean, how do you lead 24-0 and then are losing at halftime? I just don't understand that.
That is not good.
I'm glad he's out. Rip to their interim coach, Romeo Crennel, who's coming in. He's not a great coach either, so God help Houston.
So here's the thing that, I think what caused Bill O'Brien to get fired. So I guess, I don't remember if it was, I think it was week 2. The Bills were playing out the Steelers, and at some point in that game, J.J. Watt lost his shit on Bill O'Brien. And they got in a fight, and the whole team lost respect for Bill O'Brien. And him out as head coach is probably the best thing that could have happened in that organization. As a Cowboy fan, having Jason Garrett, having a very conservative coach, it doesn't fly anymore. Like, we're not playing for a tie. We are playing to win. And Bill O'Brien does not know how to do that.
You bring up Jason Garrett. $10 says Jason Garrett's the next head coach of the Houston Texans next year. I could see that happening. They're not a great organization. They make stupid calls.
I could see it being the Chiefs' offensive coordinator.
Oh, I know he's gone after this year, so I'm just enjoying his last year in Kansas City. But I really want him to get a head coach job. That would be a great call for Houston. Eric Bieniemy. I mean, he's a offensive-minded coach. Develop that incredible offense. Try and get a good receiver back again. So
yeah, and then next, I'm gonna ask you. Is this an overstatement or accurate? Favre has compared Josh Allen to Tom Brady. I think that is beyond an overstatement.
Slow your roll. Let's not let the copper fit get the best of you, Brett Favre. Because he does those commercials.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Him and his jeans, his Wrangler.
Slow your roll on the copper fit and Wrangler, Brett Favre. Josh Allen's only in year 2, 3 of his starting career. He's a great quarterback. He's taken that next step, I think, to an elite quarterback. At least this season, he's been elite. He's probably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. Dude, have the Bills won a playoff game under Josh Allen? I don't think so.
No, they made the playoffs last year, I believe, and they lost.
They lost to the who did they lose?
They lose to the Titans.
Now the Titans beat New England last year. The Bills played the Texans in Houston last year, and then the Texans beat them. It was a crazy, I think it was a double overtime, actually.
It was one of those games.
It was it was wild. But yeah, I think he'll get to the playoffs this year. I think Buffalo is one of the top threats in the AFC. They're a really good team. Until he proves something in the playoffs.
I mean, here's the thing. I think the AFC is controlled by the Chiefs the next 10 years. As long as Patrick Mahomes stays as healthy as he is, I know you're excited to hear that. As long as he stays as healthy as he is and has, if he has the weapons, I don't see anyone beating the Chiefs the next 10 years. I
want Pat Mahomes III to be a wide receiver for the Chiefs, who's in his fiance's belly right now. I wonder if
it'd be like LeBron and Bronny when Bronny I think is 2 years away, or I don't know, maybe 3 years away from being in the NBA.
I'm trying to think. So his baby's 0 years old right now. So let's do the math. He's going to have to be, 20? So Mahomes is 25. Mahomes plays at 45. His son will be 20. Brady's 45. You never.
It's not Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr.
I know football's a completely different sport, but hey, I can dream.
It can happen. Obviously, now we're gonna get into the craziness. So the Titans have not stopped testing positive for COVID-19.
I like that comment because it's so true. They just can't stop.
They can't. They are now at 23 players and personnel combined since September 24th. That is 2 weeks ago from today. When this episode goes up tomorrow, it'll be 2 weeks and 1 day. So the quarantine obviously is over at 10 days, or supposed to be. This is a whirlwind for the NFL, and here's why. So now the NFL is saying that the Titans can play the Bills, because that's this week's matchup, on either Monday or Tuesday. However, that being said, the Bills play the Chiefs next Thursday. And so they could possibly move that game to Saturday. So you're telling me the Bills are going to have to play on Monday or Tuesday, and then 4 days later have to play on Saturday? That is asking for injuries to happen.
Yeah, it's not a good look for. And weren't the Titans reckless about it too? Like, haven't they been out like partying and stuff?
I don't know. I don't know how they all got it.
I saw a report that a lot of NFL players are wanting the Titans to forfeit their game this week because of what their actions have been and how poorly they've handled it. But also, too, a couple other teams, just a little side note, Stephon Gilmore for the Patriots, he tested positive, and one guy on the Vegas Raiders tested positive. So, I mean, you saw Cam Newton, it was only one player, but then now it's two, and now, you never know what
can happen with. I mean, I know, obviously, no one really cares or notices, but you also have to look at the Chiefs, their practice squad player. The Patriots had a practice squad player. And I know, like, everyone's like, oh, the practice squad, no one gives a shit. Like, they don't play. But they still practice with the team. They're still in the facility every day. Yeah. So, like, it's still there. The chances of it, like, happening are still there. I think this is slowly becoming a bigger and bigger problem.
Yeah, it's going to be really messy this weekend if the Bills or the Titans and Bills can't play each other, because Tennessee now it's 2 weeks in a row. I mean, they haven't practiced in 2 weeks basically because their facility's been closed because they have a new guy test positive every single day, it seems like. And,
like, I mean, we talked about this at the beginning of the season. Like, you can't play double headers in football.
No, it's just not possible.
You just can't. That's number one. Number two is the Titans have already gotten one of their games moved to what would be, I think, the Steelers bye week or the Titans bye week. So they don't have 2 bye weeks. And now the NFL could possibly add a week 18. And if that happens, you're the number one seed in the playoffs. You now get 2 weeks off. Like, that is actually a lot bigger than you think, because I know it's like, oh, well, obviously you can rest, you can get all healthy, but you're not in that same motion. You're not. So I think I think we're starting to get to that question mark where we have to ask questions.
Yeah, definitely. It's a mess. It's crazy. Yeah. That's the best I can say.
Yeah, and like, my thing is, like, obviously it hasn't happened yet. What happens if a coach tests positive? He's around his assistant coaches, so they start testing positive. Who's going to call a game?
Shout out to your dog barking.
I know. Shout out to the dog barking because my mother just got home.
He wants some input on this, but yeah, I mean it's definitely messy. That's, like I said, it's the best way I can put it. You have to. I don't know how they would coach a game virtually. That would be nearly impossible. So it just. I don't know.
So, from the news, we're going to talk about the games this week. Obviously, tonight, the Buccaneers at the Bears. Who you got?
We actually have a decent Thursday night matchup, which I'm not complaining about. I will probably go out of my way. I will go out of my way to watch this game tonight. Also a Super Bowl rematch from Nick Foles and Tom Brady. So
yes, that is true.
On 2 different teams. I'm gonna go Tampa. I think Tampa gets the win in Chicago.
I got Tampa tonight. Nick Foles didn't really look so good the last Bears game. Just start Trubinsky for the first quarter, and that was your plan?
Yeah, just do it.
It seems to work. It just seems like Nick Foles just comes in and like, all right, well, here I go.
Greatest backup quarterback of all time,
Yeah. And then our Sunday early games, the first one is the Panthers at the Falcons. I think this is a better game than we thought. I know the Panthers are 2-2. The Falcons are 1-4, obviously. Falcons come off of a killer Monday night. I think this is closer than we got. I'm going to have to take Atlanta in the first one of the season.
Dang it. I was really hoping you were going to pick Carolina because I'm 3 games down on you, but I think this is the week the Falcons win. I've seem to keep picking them, but I'm gonna go Falcons as well.
We can still do it. The Bills at the Titans, maybe.
Yeah. depending on whatever happens in this game, if they play or not, I'm going to go Buffalo because Tennessee doesn't have half their team. They haven't practiced. Buffalo's just a better team. I think Tennessee hasn't played anybody great, and they've played all their games close. I think Buffalo would steamroll them.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you here. I think that Buffalo is just better. The Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, man, at the Kansas City Chiefs. I got the Chiefs. I think this is going to be a lot closer game than we think, though.
I do too. I think I said it a couple episodes ago. The Chiefs play their division opponents close. It's always been like that. It doesn't matter how bad they are or how good they are. That'll be a little note to my betting. But yeah, Raiders. It's gonna be closer than we think. But I think the Chiefs win.
Awesome. The next one is the Cardinals at the Jets. I have Arizona here. I can't imagine that the Jets win a game.
I hate to keep agreeing with you, but Arizona. Joe Flacco, the quarterback for the Jets this week. So
true. Sam Darnold out with I think a wrist or hip.
I think I think
a shoulder.
Who knows? The dude had
it doesn't matter.
So he had mono, whatever.
he had mono, and then he came back and beat the Cowboys on Thursday night. Eagles at Steelers. I think Eagles coming off of a great win. I can't see them winning 2 in a row. Steelers.
I'm gonna go Eagles. I have to pick something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I as much as I would don't want either team to win. I just want it to end in a tie. I know it's not going to.
You want the Eagles to tie again and be like 1-2-2.
I hate the Steelers, man. I hate them.
You hate both teams.
I do hate both teams. I'm not a big Pennsylvania fan. I don't like any team in Pennsylvania.
Who do you hate more, the Steelers or Eagles?
Eagles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I hate the Eagles. I can't stand them. Rams at Washington. Washington with a little backup action already. Benching Dwayne Haskins for Kyle Allen.
I kind of want to pick Washington, but I think the Rams are going to win. I'm going to go Rams.
I'm going to have to agree with you there. I have a feeling
I can see this being a trap game, though, for the Rams, honestly.
I mean, I think their trap game was last week against the Giants.
Yeah, but they still won, and they
only won because the Giants' offense is shit.
I'm still not convinced the Rams are a great football team. They haven't really played anybody great yet.
No, they haven't. I definitely will have to agree with you there. Next game, we have Bengals at Ravens. Joe Burrow coming off his first win in a NFL uniform against the Ravens. Ravens, obviously, there's an injury with Lamar Jackson. Supposedly nothing serious with his knee. If this affects his running ability, I could very easily see the Bengals winning. I don't know who I'm going to take. I don't know. I know that wasn't an answer. I don't know who I'm going to take.
You're up. You're picking first this game since
I'm going to have to go with the Bengals.
Oh, thank God. I'm taking Ravens because
I know I'm going to regret that, but I think the Bengals.
Wow. I'm shocked you picked the Bengals. I think the Ravens are a much better team.
Next game, I think this is going to be another close matchup. Jaguars at Texans. Texans, obviously, without Bill O'Brien, doesn't really matter. Jaguars, not a good team in general. Who you got?
I'm gonna pick the Texans. They get their first win. No Romeo Crennel's
I think this
there.
team's motivated under the new coach.
I do too. I think they're ecstatic that Bill O'Brien's out. They play with more heart than they have, and play for a coach. I think that's much more respected. So I think Houston wins. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. Now coming around to our Sunday afternoon games. Our first afternoon game is the Dolphins at 49ers. I'm gonna have to go Dolphins. Wow. I know. I only say that because the 49er quarterbacks just did not look good.
Yeah, but they got George Kittle back, and George Kittle had an absolute monster game. You can't rely on your tight end, but the Dolphins are not a great team. Dolphins, though, they are playing teams really close. I've noticed that.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not getting blown out, but I know what you mean.
I think they're a few weapons away from being that really good team. They don't have a lot of offensive weapons. I know they have Devontae Parker. I am pretty sure they still have Allen Hurns. It's just they don't have anyone great. They have Mike Gesicki though. I like Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 49ers. I think they're gonna win at home.
Yeah, could be a close one. We'll see what happens. The battle of Indianapolis versus Cleveland. I think this is a close game. I think the Browns get the win. I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts win though.
This is this probably might be the game of the week if you on paper. Like they're both 3-1. They're both pretty decent teams. I'm gonna go Colts, so I'm glad we're disagreeing on picks now because I really need to make up games. Like you said,
you can't win if I just keep picking the same games.
like you said though, I think this is gonna be a pretty close game. I think this is the Browns offense looks as good as it's been in franchise history, but I think Indianapolis defense shuts them down, but we'll have to see. And no Nick Chubb for a while, so they got to rely on a women beater Kareem Hunt. So
next game, Broncos at Patriots. The Patriots obviously without Cam Newton still. There was like some crazy rumor saying he could play because he's asymptomatic. Probably not a good idea. Patriots.
Bill Belichick after a loss is.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos are not a great football team either. I can easily see this being like a 13-3 game or something.
It's gonna be a lower scoring game.
They're gonna feed James White the whole time, so Patriots are gonna win on defense. They just got a better defense. So.
And then my team, the Giants, are at the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, I'm a Cowboys fan. I think this one's not close. I think the Giants are just terrible offense. They can probably hold the Cowboys a few times, but I think the offense is just going to get the best of them. Give me Dallas by like 21 points.
Yeah, give me Dallas all day. Are you happy you guys are playing an easy team this week so you can get a win?
We need to get to 2-3, man. We need to get to 2-3. Make a little bit of a comeback.
Take the division lead now this week at 2-3, so things will be good.
Just do that. Just your average. Sunday night, Vikings at Seahawks. A low-key good game, Seahawks. Just Seahawks. Kirk Cousins cannot be the Vikings quarterback next year. There's just no way.
There's no way. Shout out to our friend Jackson of the show, he's a diehard Vikings fan, like we mentioned earlier. He told me please, dear God, pick against the Vikings, and I'm going to do that because every time I've picked for the Vikings, they have lost, and last week I picked against them and they won. So is there some kind of conspiracy going on where what Vikings, whatever I pick? So I'm going to pick the Seahawks winning. So congrats to the Minnesota Vikings. You're going to win in Seattle, even though I picked the Seahawks. And
then our Monday night game. Chargers at Saints right now. It's supposed to be played in New Orleans. The Hurricane's coming from the Gulf of Mexico. Our weatherman, Espen, is obviously following it. The game could be moved to Indianapolis. I don't see it. Oh, also, Justin Herbert just got confirmed as starter for the rest of as of right now, I guess you could say. I got the Saints. They don't look good this year, but I think that they look good enough.
Yeah, I can see the Chargers winning. I don't think they will. I'm going to go Saints. It's going to be a close game, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's the Saints are.
It is going to be a close game.
How about this wild set? Weren't the Saints just on Monday night 3 weeks ago? Now they have another Monday night game? What the hell? They played Raiders on Monday night like in week 2.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, they did. And then they played Sunday night against the Packers. Yeah. Primetime games early.
Yeah.
Who you got? You got the Saints, you said?
I got the Saints. I'm going to go Saints.
All right. I'm going to fire off some questions at you. First one, who is the next head coach to get fired? Adam Gase, Dan Quinn, Matt Patricia, or other?
I'm going to pick D, all the above.
Who gets fired first?
All at once. You got it. I mean, how in the world do the Jets still have Adam Gase as their head coach? I mean, the Jets are – they are legit contenders to go in 16 this year. I don't see them winning a game. They have the Dolphins will beat them twice, and the Dolphins are not great. The Jets, I think it's got to be Adam Gase. Dan Quinn and the Falcons. Dan Quinn could turn it around. Matt Patricia, Detroit hasn't looked awful. Adam Gase is just a horrible head coach.
I'm going to have to agree with you there. I think Adam Gase. Who would you rather have? I'm going to give you some statistics. You're going to just pick one. QB1 has 70.5 completion percentage. QB2, 75.2. QB1, 1,214 yards, just a little bit over 300 a game. QB2, 1,285, 322 yards a game. QB1 has 13 touchdowns, 0 picks. QB2 has 16 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Who would you rather have?
I'm pretty sure this is Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, these two quarterbacks.
Tell me who you would like. QB1 or QB2? You have to factor in interceptions, obviously.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to go QB1.
You're going QB1? QB1 is Aaron Rodgers. It's not
Holy
Pat Mahomes.
crap. I was convinced that was Mahomes.
And
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers has done this with no receivers. Devontae Adams went out in, like, I think week 1 or week 2. And then they had, like, the Lavana dude, or Lizard dude, who went out in, like, week 2.
Lazard.
Yeah, Lazard. Who went out in, like, week 2 or week 3. But, like, yeah, QB1 is Aaron Rodgers. QB2 is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson obviously had, Tyler Lockett. And it seems like they just seem to be on the offensive side of the ball much more. But
wow, I've been against Aaron Rodgers. I can't. Wow, that was
that's crazy. 13 touchdowns, 0 picks.
Wow, I was convinced it was Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has almost identical stats to that. So I
think Patrick Mahomes has like 12 touchdowns and like 0 picks.
Yeah. But
all right,
I mean, give me either of those quarterbacks. Just to be fair, like I will take Russell Wilson too. But yeah,
I would take either of those. Last question. Is Tampa all of a sudden a sports town? The Tampa Bay Rays could advance tonight into the ALCS. The Bucks are going to probably beat the Bears. Obviously, it's a mix-up, but they're most likely going to beat the Bears. The Tampa Bay Lightning just won the Stanley Cup Finals. Is Tampa the new sport town?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably the best sports town in America right now. The Rays have a legitimate chance of winning the World Series. The Bucks have a legitimate chance of making the playoffs. So Tampa is the new. God, who's been relevant like recently?
Recently,
I guess Boston. It's Boston. They're like Boston's dominated like over the last few years. I mean, they had the Bruins.
I would say you could argue that San Francisco's kind of been, but because they went to the Super Bowl past couple of years. They had the Warriors obviously, and then the Giants obviously won it 3 times in the last 10 years. So
San Francisco is weird though because you have like teams from Oakland and San Jose. So I don't know how they group those teams together. If you're like a fan of any of those teams, like I kind of just consider them all one region. So
yeah, it's all upper California.
Yeah.
And our other sport news, I'm gonna let you take the golf segment.
Yeah, so we got a decent tournament for the first time since the U.S. Open, the Shriners Hospital for Children Open out in Vegas. We got a few big names playing. Bryson DeChambeau, he's playing. He actually won this tournament last year, so he fired off a 9 under round today, so he's leading already. So kill me. And then you got some other big names: Ricky Fowler, Matthew Wolff, Jason Day. These guys are gearing up for this little mini West Coast swing as we got the Masters in like 4 or 5 weeks. I think the Masters is. So that's so weird.
Yeah. It's coming up. It's coming up quickly.
Yeah.
WNBA. The season just ended last night or 2 nights ago now. The Seattle Storm won the WNBA Finals. Good job, Breanna Stewart, for dominating. If you go to Connecticut for basketball, you're probably going to win a WNBA Finals. So that's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, congrats to them. They're basically the UConn of the WNBA. I think this was like their 4th title in like 7 or 8 years or something like that. So maybe they also be one of the best mascots in sports. The Las Vegas Aces. That's a great name.
Yeah, just a card, just a simple ace.
Simple. Hey, it works.
Now to our bets of the week. Remember, do not take any of this advice from us. We are not. Well, I'm not a bettor. I couldn't tell you this shit for my life.
I'm not anymore.
Espen quit. Psych, not really.
I did. I lost my money, so.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So he's back to break even for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
My bets of the week. My first bet of the week. Heat versus Lakers tomorrow night. This over-under set at 216. I'm taking the under. I think this is a defensive matchup. I think the Heat are going to win it. I think we'll probably be around 200, 205.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see. I mean, I like these. I hate these NBA games that get into like the 1-teens, 120s, and that's just average now. It doesn't appeal to me. I love when the games are under 100 points. So
Utah Jazz versus Denver Nuggets, Game 7.
Was it like 80 to 78 or something?
It was 80 to 78.
That's insane.
Yeah. What's your first pick of the week?
First bet, like I said earlier, Raiders at Chiefs. So the Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites. I think the Raiders cover the spread. They don't win in Arrowhead. But like I said, the Chiefs always play their division opponents close. I can see this being like a 9-10 point victory, but take Vegas, and I think Vegas is going to cover. So. Yeah,
that's definitely going to be a closer one, obviously. Giants at Cowboys. Cowboys are set at 9.5-point favorites. I think the Cowboys are going to cover the spread. Like I said, I can't imagine it being close. I think Daniel Jones has a couple interceptions. I don't see it being too promising.
I think last week I think I had Dallas covering the spread against Cleveland, and boy, I was.
Yeah, that was a rip.
Yeah. My next one is Jaguars at Texans. The Texans are 6-point favorites. I think the Texans barely cover the spread. I think they win by 7. Like I said, they're fired up. They got a new coach. Texans play a lot better, and Jacksonville's not a great football team. So
no, not at all. Dolphins at 49ers for my last pick. 49ers are an 8.5-point favorite. I think Dolphins cover the spread. I did have the Dolphins winning earlier. I think it's going to be like a 3-point victory or something, really small. But I can imagine 49ers are going to cover it.
Yeah. And then my final bet is a little baseball. Dodgers are right now plus 190 to win the World Series. They look like they are the most dominant team in baseball, yet they'll probably still find a way to lose. So it is the Dodger way. But I think the Dodgers, from what I've seen, they look like a team to beat. So.
Yeah, and those are our bets of the week. Remember, do not take any of the betting advice from us. Efton is out here losing money, not too promising. I don't know how to gamble. I don't know how to use any of those websites.
Well, I actually gained. I took out my money that I'd won, and then it was a crap week, so we're not touching that account for a while. We're just gonna let that 6 cents stay in there for who knows how long.
Let it marinate.
So we had a little fun with it for a couple of weeks, but it's like, don't be responsible with gambling. Don't bet your mortgage.
Don't let it affect you. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLING today to get help.
Wow, that was smooth.
Yeah, you like that? As always, go give us a follow on TikTok or Twitter, T_A_G Sports. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Our name's always going to be up there. Our Twitter and TikTok is going to be up there. But yeah, swimmy.
Yeah, we're in. Follow us on Anchor. We usually post on our social media when we have episodes coming out. So yeah, you can listen to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Overcast. We reached out to Singapore. We got that one person in Singapore who somehow found us.
Norway.
So, yeah, we have a couple people in Norway, I think. So yeah, I in Norway.
Shout out some family.
Probably, yeah, but
probably crying right now that Norway lost in the Euro.
I'm crying on the inside. It was a tough game, but that's another story.
Go give us a follow. Give us a like, comment, or subscribe on YouTube. And happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. Great, another great episode. 15 down. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, take care, man.
Yeah, see ya.